there, YouTube friends. Planet Coaster 2's newest update has dropped. Update 5 is live, and it is a wonderful update with lots of changes, lots of upgrades, and lots of additions for you to further expand your creativity. I decided to build this, which you're seeing on the screen right now, a sci-fi inspired cantina with some heavy Star Wars bent. If you want to see how I made it, stick around. I'm maskedbandit. Let's talk about the update. Alright, so you see we have a bit of a time lapse going here while I just chat and kind of catch up with you. Been a little while since we've had a video on the channel. First things first, I do want to say thank you to all the lovely people at Frontier for providing me early access to this update to get this content to you and allow you to give you my honest feedback. I did not make a video for the last update, and even though I enjoyed it, this is the one, this and Mineral. If you are not watching a lot of Planet Coaster 2 stuff, you need to go watch Mineral. Their Jardin Magique, their Magic Garden series, their little French park or imaginary, I don't know. It's incredible. You know, Mineral's a friend of this channel's, so you should go check him out. He's getting me back into wanting to play Planet Coaster, I'll tell you what, as is this update. We are building, like I said, this restaurant. I hadn't built a restaurant yet. I needed to build a restaurant. So I wanted to go ahead and do that here. Actually, I thought that this was the update that had the gift shops in it. So I was really excited to build a gift shop. I already know what I'm going to build for the gift shop. So excited to do that as well. But yeah, decided to go full-blown, full-themed here and create a lovely little restaurant and play around with that because I hadn't yet. We're going to be doing a couple cuts in this video where we explain some of the parts of the update that are my favorite bits. This is not a thorough review of the update. It is simply the things that I am finding most useful and helpful, and the things that are getting me excited and wanting to play Planet Coaster 2. So if you find that valuable, do hit the like button and make sure you watch so you can see how we end up getting to what you saw at the beginning of the video. Anyway, yeah, it is the end of the year for me. Just want to do a channel update here. It's getting to be the end of my calendar year, the end of my work year. Have a couple months off, and we're not planning any large trips, so I have big plans, but you know, I have big intentions, and they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So would love to make more content. Can't promise anything, but we'll see where the wind takes us. I have some ideas. I have thoroughly enjoyed being back in Planet Coaster. This has taken several hours, and it was not a slog at all. I was looking forward to getting into this each and every time I opened it. Took a few days to put this together. Actually, over the course of my birthday weekend, I just celebrated my 40th birthday. Holy schmolies, I am old. I am old. So, yep, that's what's been going on with me. I'm about to have a lot of time off, and I'm 40. But yeah, if you can't tell, the inspiration for this build is Oga's Cantina, a place I was fortunate enough to visit a few years ago. It is not obviously a direct rip. I don't know if I have the skills to do that, but it is inspired as far as the materials and the vibe. I'm loving this rustic mixed with sci-fi, something that we're going to talk about a little bit more in the video. But yeah, like I said, happy to be making content for y'all again. Happy to be, showing off some cool stuff. And I do think that if you're waiting to get back into Planet Coaster, this might be the update for you. It's not flashy, but it's important. And I think it really starts to allow the extreme creativity that the Planet franchise has always been known for. It starts to unlock it more. Do I wish we had this from the very beginning? Yes, of course. But good on Frontier for listening and making the changes in the updates, and even better on them for adding all the old scenery. That's really cool. But at this point, let's jump in and take a look at one of the new features in the update, and then we'll take a look at the build as it stands. So one of the big things about the sci-fi scenery set is that it is very, very, very specific as far as the quality of pieces and what's included, which you're going to see as we continue to build here in this episode. However, I think for anybody, here are the pieces that I think will be most beneficial for everyone. These are pretty generic, and these mesh walkways here with the railing are wonderful. The cables are excellent, especially now that all of these pieces are scalable. We have a lovely crate and this computer computer. Surely we could find something interesting to do with this. The staircases here, and then of course I am always a sucker for the non-gridded wall types. This is the metal alloy walls that come with the full metal alloy wall set that comes with the Sci-fi. These are very, very, very useful, as are any of the non-gridded wall pieces. And of course, these right here are great, these platings, especially this one here because it's recolorable, but I love the texture. And simply by making it dark, by making it gray, we now have a lovely metal texture here that we can use in our build for a variety of things. I immediately think about this being the bottom of a like a fountain drink dispenser or something like that. That would be very, very, very beneficial. So I'm not going to go through each scenery piece. You can explore that on your own, but as far as if you're into the generic or what can you use outside of sci-fi settings, I think these are the pieces that you're going to find to be most useful. So hopefully in that time lapse you saw some of this being put together, and you can see kind of where we're at now as we further develop our restaurant here. Obviously big inspiration, as I probably mentioned in the time lapse, Oga's Cantina in Hollywood Studios. And I feel like I'm finding it easier to put the sci-fi pieces into the mythology and the Viking theme more than I was the original themes in Planet Coaster, which is kind of cool. I'm really enjoying all this detail and all this nested bits here. I think these lights really turned out really well. And actually, what I didn't realize is one of the new things is we do not need to use these anymore. Because one of the big updates in this, one of the big things for me, when I click on a light now, we have activation settings. Loop means it's on day and night. Obviously night, it means night only. But now our interiors can be lit with any light in the game, and that is a game changer, I think. I do believe that is a game changer. Now, you are not going to see that effect until the very end, because I did not realize that was a change until right before I finished the project. So but yeah, I'm very happy with these tables too, using some of our new colored glass. You can see here, the glass is recolorable. My default color is black, but you can see it does hold the color quite nicely without making it too saturated. That's pretty neat. Big fan of how that works. So we're going to Control Z and put that back. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this. Love the restaurants. I did not play Planet Zoo long enough to get into the restaurants. So I really like having them here. And then here are the stools that I grabbed off the workshop that I used in Bikini Bottom. And we created this little seating area here where you could watch, almost like a hibachi style, where you could watch them prepare your food. And maybe these are extra here. I thought it might be a bar, but very clearly we're making food here. So yeah, just starting to throw in some clutter and see what we can do here with this giant sci-fi piece. Feels like some sort of reactor or something. I don't know. And then we're going to use these cables and ropes and clutter. And I really did try to find different ways to use some of the pieces. Like, for example, this is a spaceship landing gear piece. And just trying to find things that work together. And then every once in a while, of course, having something that's not in theme at all, like our condiment cart here. They would have just probably have some sort of stock condiment cart. But yeah, quick service restaurant. You're going to be coming in this way, going through the line, ordering your food, and then bringing it to sit down. So let's keep plugging along. No more time lapse for the episode. We're going to be jumping in now in our update style here. So, and actually in between, we're probably going to jump and look at different parts of the update. So let's look at one of the specific parts of the Let's look at one of the specific parts of the new update right now. In addition, there are also these recolorable rocks, which are incredible. Again, I'm not going to post every single one of them. You can do that on your own. But the recolorability is very interesting in how the two colors interact with each other. You can create some really nice looks. This orange is the default, but I did go ahead and create like a tan rock and even a black rock. And I'm sure that with some experimentation, you can find some really good color combos to put on all of these rocks and build some amazing rock features. This is great to have because the aquatic rocks do glow at night and these do not, which is a big, big, big plus in my mind. So very glad to have these recolorable rocks, very glad to have some sci-fi pieces. Overall, these scenery additions are very good, a very much welcomed addition to the game. I felt like it was time to go ahead and get our entrance nailed down. It's going to change a little bit, but the basic idea is here. The rough and ready idea is here. And you can see the use of invisible paths here. They aren't invisible yet because I didn't know that was the thing I could do. I thought it was the same as the... oh, this lady is so loud. I thought it was... how do I get my custom... What am I doing? There we go. I thought that these sandy paths are natural paths. No, it is the invisible path. You have to have that selected on elevated paths. And then, look at that. Isn't that awesome? Not something we were able to do in Planet Coaster 1 without much effort. And we would have had the big stuff sitting there. Oh, this is so cool. I love this. So there you go. We can now use these walkways as intended, which is just stunning. Really enjoying this shape. Kind of gives a bit of a hangar vibe with the way the angles here and the angles here. More use of weird sci-fi pieces. These are wings to spacecraft using some of the stairs here. And I really like the airlocks. I thought those ended up being perfect, especially with the wooden doors. Here's where I'm talking. The Sci-fi and the Viking, surprisingly simpatico here. With these stone market walls from the mythology set. These are really what's really driving this whole idea forward. And it came together relatively quickly, so... You can see here, it's just layering. What I'm doing is I'm getting my basic structure and I'm just layering and layering and layering and trying to create as much clutter, because if you've ever been to Galaxy's Edge, it is just so cluttered. There's stuff everywhere and it's incredible and it's immersive. And so that's kind of what I was trying to do here. So yeah, this is where we are at as we are furthering along. You can see I'm starting to hit my groove now. Things are going to be coming together relatively quickly after this. Of course, paths might be the biggest thing in this update, and I've been using them in the video so far, but I'd like to go ahead and take a moment to show you exactly why these are so great. We now have a circle stamp builder tool, which is still kind of large. The basic circle's a little large, but what's really special about the updates in this is we can turn the curbs completely off, and now if I were to take a path, I can interact. Why the red one's underneath? I'm not sure. But we can absolutely do that now. If I turn merge on, it will overlap even more. That's pretty cool. And you can see it replaces. Our curves are now gone, and when we mix textures, you can see that we don't have those black lines anymore, which is really fantastic. So some amazing things I'm sure people are already being able to do as soon as this drops, but the new path update, is just incredible. Not to mention the fact that elevated paths now are thin. Look at how thin that is. Now you can choose, of course, to make it different if you would like. You can choose, let's see if we go to some details here. We can put the supports on and add the curbs. And if I repaint it now, we add that. We don't have the curbs. Oh, we do. You get to pick what side you want those curbs on, actually, which is nice. You can have them on one side or the other, and that is awesome. And then, of course, you can also, if you want, add that foundation back to the paths. Now, when you add the foundation, the little black line does come back, so be careful when you're using that. And I have found that it doesn't go away once it's there. I had to Control Z to get my black lines to go away. So there's some fiddliness there, but I think most of us are probably going to be playing without the foundation and without the curbs. So for us, it won't matter much at all. And then, of course, the new big thing is the completely invisible path. And it does work, and you will see it in situation in our build today. Some fun ideas with that. So paths! Oh my gosh! This doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, the updates in this are just incredible. The additions here really... These are the things that we were crying for at the beginning of the game, and to see them come back is such a great thing now. So if you were waiting for a time to jump into Planet Coaster 2, I feel like we're absolutely at that point now where you can go in and the customization is there as long as you're willing to spend the time. It still takes a lot of time to get anything done. Don't kid yourself, that's not gonna probably change, but the simple fact is there's a lot more customization now, and this new pathing tools are just great. Here we are at the finished product. man, I got into a groove and I just knocked it all out, and I'm really happy with it. And I hope you like it too. This is the first restaurant I've ever made in a Planet game, and hopefully you think it looks pretty good. So we have Gaseous Crumb. Don't know who Gaseous Crumb is. I just thought that was really funny, and I used just some alpha fonts. Each letter is its own sign. I've used that technique before a lot in the SpongeBob Bikini Bottom Park, and it's the Cantina and Bistro. I think this is so fun. I'm already thinking of a fun narrative story for this land that this building might sit in. We put this huge generator up there to really amp up the sci-fi. We also added some kind of spiky landscaping to make it kind of feel, again, further alien. And we really did just kind of copy what we had over here around the side. There's a big wall right here, and I want to show you why that exists, but I'm really happy with this over here. This just extra walkway with this turret. Oh my gosh, I think it's so cool. It's just, I think it looks good from all angles, which is important. I watch a lot of City Skylines too, and City Planner Plays talks a lot about how buildings need four-sided architecture. This feels like a major corner structure where it would need to look good from all angles, and I feel like we've absolutely done that in this episode. And you'll see, I did bring back the curbs. Look, sometimes the curbs are needed. Most times they're not, but sometimes the curbs are needed. So let me show you what's going on inside now. And I want you to notice how, well, you don't really notice it during the day, but I'm going to turn this to night, and I want you to see, whoa, because of the extra lights we have, just how bright this is going to look. So this is what it looks like during the day without the updated lighting. But when I change the lighting here to nighttime, watch how bright this gets. It just gets, like over here especially, it's just so very bright. This area is so very bright compared to everything else around it. I don't mind this area being bright because it's where they prepare the food, but I want to show you what this is going to look like once we change all the lights. We get rid of a lot of these floods. Also want you to notice the star dome. I'm pretty pleased with this. You can't really tell, but it is an actual dome if we were to fly up here. We did a dome technique. Unnecessary. Unnecessary piece count is unnecessary. But we did that along with some of the new glass pieces to create this star viewing. Maybe it's an LED screen. That almost looks like there's a moon with the reflections of the glass. That's cool. Maybe it's kind of like the restaurant in Epcot where like scenes, like a ship flies by every now and again or something. This is obviously a pretty high octane themed restaurant. This would be in a Disney or a Universal, but yeah, added some menus, all that bits and bobs to really bring it together. You can see now the back end here looks like this. And what I really like are all the different levels. Like it does feel like there's 4 distinct areas. There's your entrance. There's this side area here. There's the Space Dome room with its cooler lighting. And then there's the warmer area over here in the corner with all the clutter. Even up there, we've got a whole bunch of stuff hanging and things like that. Lots of things to look at. I kind of dig it quite a bit. But I do want to show you what it's going to look like when we change out the lighting, when we add the updated lighting, where we remove these and make sure, because right now, those are, whoa! Because right now, these lights are not illuminated. And if I put them onto loop, they're going to brighten everything up. So let's take a look at what it looks like at night without all this extra lighting. It's actually surprisingly not as much change as I thought it would, but here in this area here, this is a lot warmer and not as harsh its lighting, which I'm really enjoying. And I don't, like I said, I like the harshness here where the food prep would be. But yeah, back in here, it's just a little cozier, not nearly as intense. But I think for the most part, we're going to be seeing the game during the daytime, during that. So let's crank that up to about 10 a.m. or so and see what it looks like now. Yeah, I like that. I'm really pleased with this. This is by far one of the best interiors I've ever done in a Planet game. And I hope I showed that the sci-fi set has its merits. I know some of us were grumbling when it first came back, but I think there is some good use in this set. So I'm going to leave it right about here for this episode. I do appreciate you hanging out with me today. I hope you liked this. I may put this on the workshop. It's very big and unruly, and I'm not sure everything's one building, but we'll see. Maybe some more Planet Coaster stuff coming rather soon, but I'm not going to promise anything. I do appreciate you sticking around for this one. Check out some of the other Planet Coaster 2 stuff on the content, and I'll see you for the next one. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.